Hey everybody, welcome back. I am Ellen Marek, and today I'm really excited because I have Dr. Shiwen's son as our special guest.
Thank you, Ellen.
What are you a doctor in?
Well, actually, I'm a doctor in chemistry, analytical chemistry.
Analytical chemistry?
Analytical chemistry.
Okay.
I finished my PhD last year in Graz, in Austria, and right now I'm flying as a flight attendant for Eurowings.
So thanks so much to Shiwen for coming and helping share, because Shiwen has been through the whole Lufthansa group.
Almost. Swiss airline, yes.
Yeah, Swiss, okay,
Yes.
maybe in a few years.
Yes.
How did you get from analytical chemistry to Eurowings?
Well, I always like traveling. I traveled a lot during my PhD. I always enjoyed it. I want to do something between China and Europe in the future. I found the job from Lufthansa. They have the Chinese flight attendant. So you will be based in Munich or Frankfurt, and you have to do 3 or 4 flights to China every month. Every time you were in China, you got 2 or 3 day layovers there. And I thought that could be the best opportunity for me, that I could be back like 10 days a month, but also living in Europe. So that was my original plan, but I didn't get in the Lufthansa.
Okay, so let's go back to that. So that was your very first application was for Lufthansa. Tell me about how you applied, how you found out you got invited to the assessment day.
I applied online first on the Lufthansa website. It's called belufthansa.com. But I think they have the criteria that you have to have a European passport, and for me, I don't have. So I didn't hear back from them. It's like a special thing for the Chinese flight attendant. They have to go through one of the Chinese agents. So actually, I went back to China for that interview. I applied on that Chinese agent website, and then I got invited to the interview day. They have 2 rounds. The first round is like a small talk. Everyone got to talk with the recruiter for 2 or 5 minutes. And then the second round is a much longer talk. You have also a psychologist in the room, so you have like a half an hour to 45 minutes talk. They discuss a lot of different things, a very small role play, and then eventually they give you the offer after that.
Wow. So how many people were at this interview day that you went to?
The job for Lufthansa is really tempting. It's very good for Chinese. So that's why there are a lot of people went to the interview. There were more than 1,000 people applied for that position.
Oh my gosh.
But on that day, I think there were around 500 people showed up.
Wow. And how many made it to the second round?
More than 100, a little bit more than 100. And then eventually they took 40 people for both Munich base and Frankfurt base.
But you were already living in Europe, right?
Yes.
So then what you did is you applied for Austrian?
Yes. So obviously I didn't get a job from Lufthansa.
It's a lot of competition.
Yes. And then when we're back in Austria, Austrian Airlines has the casting in Graz. I thought, why not? It's like 10 minutes from my apartment. So I went there. And then there are much less people there, I have to say. There are totally like 40 or 50 people on that day. They also have several rounds. The first round is a small talk with one recruiter for 5 to 10 minutes. I managed it. And then the second round is a role play. You have 3 candidates together as a cabin crew. Then you also have the passengers, which are the recruiters. You simulate what's happening from before takeoff to before landing.
This is Austrian Airlines or AUA. So was the interview in German?
It was all in German. I used all my German knowledge, which is not really good, I believe. Eventually they rejected me, and the reason they gave me is your Deutsch is zu wenig.
Not enough German.
Yeah. During the interview, it was really hard because we have the role play. She asked me to do all the announcement in German. So I have to do all the announcement in German, which I have no clue. They don't give you a script, not anything.
Okay.
They have to do the spontaneous.
You're improving the.
Yes. And also,
wow.
And I have never flown before, so I really have no idea. Just some sentence come up in my mind from my previous flights with Austrian Airlines.
That sounds actually really intense to have to improvise the announcement. Wow. Finally, we get to Eurowings, which is English language. So Eurowings, that's what we both did. We actually did our training together as well. That's how I know Shiwen. Tell me about how you applied for Eurowings.
I think I found the same position on the belufthansa.com. I saw the position for Eurowings. I think I checked them like a couple months before, but they only asked for the people with experience. I think in December, I was randomly searching around. I thought they want someone without experience. I just sent my application online. I filled out all the information, clicked send. Then actually actually on the same day, I got an email from the recruiter. They asked me, can you send me your copy for the passport and one motivation letter? I sent back.
Yeah.
And 2 hours later, you are invited to the assessment day.
That's awesome. That's actually how it was for me too. Exactly. I had looked before and I looked at Austrian and Lufthansa and they said, okay, you must have German. And I knew my German wasn't good enough and I was too shy to even try. Then I looked at Eurowings and at the time they were just recruiting people with experience. In December, I did exactly the same thing. I just was like, oh, I'll just look one more time. Found this and I applied. I think I had to wait 1 day for the follow-up email. But I still was like, oh my gosh, something. And then then the same thing, either 1 day and then I got invited to the assessment day. I was like, this is moving quickly. Like, I kind of applied, like I wanted to do the job, but I thought these things take months. My assessment day they invited me to was actually the next week.
Me too, actually.
Really? Did you go in that week?
Yes.
Because I didn't have everything ready. I had just moved to Austria, so I still needed proof that I was allowed to work here, and so I had to actually email, can I come later, please?
Probably you should be the same assessment day as me.
Yeah.
December 12th.
Yes, I think that's exactly it, because I did exactly 1 month later in January. That's funny, we would have seen each other. So tell me about your assessment day.
It's very interesting because we were told to come to the office park, where is the headquarters of Eurowings. It's right next to the terminal. But on the same day, they changed the location, so we have to go to further place. Nobody was informed by that, so we were a little bit worried when we were waiting the shuttle bus. We were thinking, is this the first task? You have to manage yourself to be there on time.
Can you find it?
But we figured out there like more than half of the candidates were waiting for the bus there. So we were all late. It was not something planned. At the last minute, they have to change the location.
But that's a good idea maybe next time.
Yeah. One of the very important things for this job is you have always to be on time.
Yeah.
Even from the very beginning for the interview.
For me, that's such basic. In America, the workforce is so competitive that they have to look for the tiniest things to cut you off the list. They have so many applicants. If you misspell something on your resume, if you're late 1 minute, any little thing and you are gone. Yeah. And especially in this industry, aviation, timing, if you're late,
it's money.
It's money because the plane is waiting for you or they have to call somebody else. So I totally get that, and I'm just used to it culturally. It hasn't been a challenge for me. I'm perpetually 20 minutes early. Yeah, so that's actually really intense to be looking for the location.
So eventually we got to the room where we have the interview. There were 20 people totally. How many people were you?
Mine was bigger. Mine was at the office park. They didn't move it, first of all. I swear there was like 30 or 40. Maybe I was just overwhelmed and I'm exaggerating, but I felt like there was a lot. Everybody was kind of waiting downstairs when we first got there, and you could see like they were so nervous, and so I just joined in the nervous party. And then they called us into one big room, and then we did the English test first.
The small presentation of the company
first.
Yeah,
that's right.
So they told you everything about the Eurowings. Actually, Eurowings is a really big brand. There are different, what do you call that? It's like a small subsidiary of Eurowings brand.
You mean like the German Wings and the Eurowings of Europe? Yes. Yeah, Eurowings is in the Wings group. Yes. It has many different subsidies. Yes. I don't know, that is the best word I could come up with.
So it's a brief overview about this job and the company. But I found it really interesting because we have this last minute change of location. So actually all the candidates was waiting together at one bus stop. And I took the chance to talk with different people, to get to know the different people before the interview. If you have a role play, you probably want to know your partners first.
I think that's really smart.
I was just less nervous.
You broke the ice and everybody was kind of in the stressful thing together, so you've already bonded a little bit. And that's super nice. I tried to make conversation with somebody and she wasn't having it. Later it got better, once we were in together. How I prepared for the interview was watching a lot of vlogs about assessment days, so I knew that socializing and building that rapport would be really helpful. Even as a very social person, I will say it was a little challenging on the assessment day. Okay, I'm really nervous, but hey, where are you from? But it was all good. And in the end, we were all nervous and we shared that together. Yeah. And my assessment day,
they had an English test, which is not a problem for you at all, I guess.
No, I know. So we did the English test, and then they take everybody out of the room, and we had 2 big rooms, so they move us to the second room while they judge the English test, and that's when I started to talk to people, because actually the first thing, this other girl, she goes, oh, how did you find the English test? Like, she didn't know me, we hadn't spoken yet. I was like, well, I'm a native speaker. She's like, oh, no fair.
But I have to say the test itself is not very hard. It's like a high school level.
Okay. I had no way to judge it because it's all so innate to me that I don't know, okay, like, is this difficult? Is this hard?
Oh, yeah.
But it's just natural. So I really had no way to judge it.
But I heard that it's like Matura, you know what Matura in Austria? The SAT test.
Oh, the SAT.
It's like the end of your high school, you take the test. That's probably the level of English test for our.
That makes sense.
Yeah. After the English test, group introduction.
Yes, the group introduction. So we were such a big group, they actually split us into two.
Okay.
So that's when we went into the two different rooms. Spontaneously, we drew questions. And then we answered the questions in front of the group. I think we did two. How many did you do?
We did only one.
Just
but we have
one.
to introduce ourselves first.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you pick a slip with a question on it and answer the question immediately.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we did two, and they said, okay, do one in English, and if you can, do one in German. I was like, this is my chance. Like, even if my German isn't good, what I'm going to do is show that I'm willing to try. My first question, I can't even remember. I think it's something even to do with like, what does your typical flight attendant do in a day? And then my second question, I 100% remember because I was like, okay, now I'm going to answer this in German. And it was a really hard question. They asked me, okay, why should we pick you instead of somebody else? Okay, I can tell you why you could pick me, but I felt very uncomfortable. So I don't know, I did my best. I just spit out some words.
You did that in German,
I did it in German.
Great.
For me, this was like, okay, if they don't require German, then it doesn't matter if it's perfect. What matters is that I'm showing that I can try. So I did that.
I think that attitude is really important.
Yeah.
So for my interview day, they didn't ask us to do the question in German. It was only English. I introduced myself about my education, why I'm trying to do this. It happens all the time. Oh, you have a PhD. Why do you want to be a flight attendant? I have answered this question so many times. By the time, like, I'm not trying to give the answer anymore. I'm just like, this is the thing I want to do, and I don't need to find an excuse for doing this. I just love to do this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think I was a little bit more convincing at the end. I told them I went to the Lufthansa.
I would hire you.
Yeah, actually, they really consider about it. I think the first time they think, why is he here?
He's overeducated.
It makes no sense,
he
right?
won't,
But if they know the story, had been with Lufthansa, had been with Austrian Airlines, this is actually my third airline. So they tried to believe me, I guess. And I got a really nice question. Asked me, what do you expect after you flying as a flight attendant? You know, we all have followed a lot of influencers on the Instagram.
Shiwen and I were all about the social media. By the way, follow Shiwen on Instagram.
You should put my Instagram name here. Right?
Exactly. So follow Shiwen. He's very active on the Instagram. And if you think he should start his own YouTube channel, leave a comment. Let us know. I think he should.
All right. So come back to the question. What do you expect from this job after flying as a flight attendant? I said, I think it's going to be a lot of fun because I saw all the pictures, all the videos. All the flight attendants having so much fun. Everyone's like a big family and they always have a lot of fun together. The second thing, my personal curiosity. I'm really fascinated about aviation. And I made an example. I said, I read a lot of books. I read one question was why there is an ashtray in the lavatory. Smoking forbidden on board. And I think that's the moment the recruiter stopped me. And he asked me, so what's the answer for that? If there's an ashtray there, people tend to put the cigarette butt in the ashtray, which is less risky than putting them somewhere else. I think he was quite convinced. So I think that's the moment I feel more and more comfortable during the whole interview process.
Then did you also do a group role play?
Actually, we skipped that round because we were late when we started. And also we have a relatively small group. Yeah. So actually we jump into the last round, the final interview.
The one-on-one interview.
But I'm curious what's happening in the...
Yeah, for us, after each round, after the English test, then they dismissed a few people. And then after the group interview, they dismissed a few more. It felt like being on a reality show. Like, okay, I made it to the next round. I haven't been voted off the island yet. Then what they did is they took us in groups of 4 and they gave us a situation and they gave us cards and we had to kind of say, okay, in this situation, what would be the most important order of the cards? And then kind of just, the point is to work as a team and decide as a team.
Is this some scenario in the aviation?
Ours had to do with passengers and there was a delay, so the passengers were on the plane, they were delayed on the plane, but they were kind of getting maybe rowdy and like how you would handle the situation. And there was even suggestions, but then you had to kind of order like, okay, First, I would restrain a passenger, or first I would offer them some water, like, you know, and order this. It was very common sense. I never felt like you could be completely wrong. You're not a flight attendant yet. They don't expect you to have every answer. They just want to show that you're thinking about it and that you use some logic and that you work as a team. I actually felt it went okay, but like, again, you don't know these people. It wasn't with the people I happened to be chatting with. And then after that, then they made a few more cuts, and then we did the one-on-one interviews. We did 2-on-1. They had 2 people.
Yeah, it was also 2-on-1. Yeah.
And how was that?
It was a bit scary before because everyone's waiting outside.
Yeah.
And they call your name, you go inside, have the talk, and then immediately they tell you got an offer or not.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Right there?
Yes.
Okay.
So everyone coming out either with, no, they didn't take me, oh, I got an offer.
Oh my gosh.
So you would not?
No,
okay.
They didn't tell us right away. But okay, let's go back to you first. So they told you, like, how many people were no's? This is what I'm curious about.
I think we have 12 people totally on that day, and I think 5 people got the offer.
Just 5? Wow. I would say that we were at least half. Like I said, we were a big group. So we were at least down to half of the people who started during our one-on-one interviews. And we didn't know right away. We did our questions, and then we went back to the waiting area. I was the first person, so when I come down, what did they ask you? How did it go? Well, this is what they asked me. I think I did okay. So slowly but surely, everybody goes through the process. It's so nerve-wracking. The last person is like, okay, can I go yet? I want to do my interview. Finally, we all come down, and then one person comes down from the staff, and he is like, okay, congratulations, you all made it. We all got hired from the final group. It was so nice because by then it's been like at least a couple of hours. Maybe it was 3 or 4 hours that this thing took, and you've chatted with everybody, and so it was so nice. It was like, we made it. We all made it. Hooray! Really? Yeah. No, but I felt so good leaving. Final group, like we all made it together. Actually, what's really interesting is like it can be totally different because we had other colleagues in our training and they had like 4 people for their whole assessment day, the whole thing. I think they did still have to do like a group thing. And I believe they said 3 out of the 4 made it. Do you remember?
Yeah, but the girl didn't make it. She was late for the interview, I heard.
Ah, okay. Yeah. See, be on time.
And all in all, I think they really like people with a very interesting personalities.
Yeah, it does help for sure.
Different airlines, they all have different kind of standards
100%.
For recruitment.
Yeah.
I think Lufthansa or Austrian Airlines as the national carriers, they are looking for certain features from their candidates. Yeah. They want to represent their countries. But Eurowings as a new startup airline, I think they want to have a fresh look.
Yeah, I think so too. So thanks so much to Shiwen for coming. It's nice to see you again. I haven't seen you since training.
We haven't been flying together.
But this is awesome. So so thanks Shiwen, and follow Shiwen on Instagram.
Subscribe.
And subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, Shiwen.